and this is the Warpforge with my first unboxing video. In this unboxing, it is the Space Marine Contemptor Dreadnought, and as usual I'll probably be converting it into Chaos one, since they don't have an official Chaos Contemptor Dreadnought model from when I checked the website. So for starters, we will do the torso first. There we go. As you see, the detailing is superb, as per Forge World standards. Rivets in nicely placed area. It doesn't over decorate like in Games Workshop Lehman Russell tanks, whereas rivets left, right and centre. It's all appropriately placed. The eagle on the front, which has incredible detail. It's even got bullet bashes in it, which is absolutely great. The rosettes on the end are in fine detail. It looks a bit shiny at the moment because it's still greasy. I've got to wash the model. But detailing's great. I'll probably remove that, the eagle and the rosettes though, because as I said, Chaos. They've even got the holes at the top in the both corners, which I find very nice detail. The top bits, as per usual, Dreadnoughts, I think. I like that because it shows some of the inner workings of a Contemptor. I like them, and I like them how they're already sort of drilled out, because it just adds atmosphere, pardon me, to the model. As you see here, even more detail here with the shoulder pads, well, where the shoulder joints meant to go in. It's got the turn and whirring cogs, etc, etc, and it's exactly the same on the other side, which is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful detailing. At the bottom we have a place for where the legs go in, and the middle bit of the torso, I think. More padding, or arm padding, as you see. And if I turn it around, a bit more detail in here. And this is a very nice bit of detail. You can actually see the cogs in the middle section for its articulation for when the torso turns, which I think is a brilliant piece of detailing. It's just nice when you see something like that, because it looks a bit more realistic in the world of where red ones go faster. At the top here, as you see, more detailing. A venting pad is what I can only describe it as. More rivets appropriately placed. As you see, the little laser pointers, I'm just going to call them, or rivets, whichever one they may be, for the encasement, I assume, of the poor soul trapped inside the Dreadnought. That's the thing. The torso or chest, my only criticism would be that giant triangle at the bottom. Why? Because that looks like there's been more resin put into that than the actual model, which I think is a bit of a wasted part of resin. But for the detail of the cast, or for the detail of the body, it's justifiable. Next we have the legs. Now these are probably, alongside the exhausts, the most detailed part of the body kit. If we could zoom, absolutely beautiful. As you see, the peg to go with the leg joint on the part of the middle torso, or torso. As you can see, it's got the turning rivets, etc, etc. It's in the middle. You've got the cogs, which will turn as when the leg turns, or when the Dreadnought wants to crouch. You've got two little bits here which attach the legs to the armoured ankles, I could call them, and more appropriate padding of armour on the top, as you see. Again, criticism is the massive triangle on the end. I think a lot of resin's been wasted, but that's just me. For the detailing, it's justifiable though. Here is an interesting bit, the feet. Now, what's interesting, you get 4 pairs, or well, 4 feet, which I find highly intriguing, but I think that's only so that you get full posability, or you can achieve the pose you want for your Dreadnought, with different types of pairs of feet. If this thing will zoom in, which doesn't want it to be appearing so, there we go. As you see, all ankles or feet are inscribed with a letter and a number. That is to show which pairs go with which pairs and which one goes in the correct leg, just so you don't get your feet wrong. On the top of the feet, well, you've got the armours upon layers of, well, armour. On the bottom, it's grilled, which is nice because we like detail everywhere. On the back, we have more detail of padding, or like armour upon armour, just to make sure it looks a bit more detailed instead of just simplifying it, and more rivets appropriately placed. If I could actually, hang on, zoom in. If this will zoom in, come on, come on. Well, you can see from what it is, you can see the armour padding and the rivets. Again, a massive triangle. Why, Forge World? I just want to ask why, but for the detail it's justifiable on the model. Next up we have the exhaust fume or pipes. As I see, this could be done like so. There we go. As we see, there's a grill on the back for venting. There's vents on the sides, I can only describe them as. We have the exhausts at the top, all with rivets appropriately placed, not everywhere. Games Workshop could learn a thing. If I can just... Oh, it's actually standing up, which is a nice thing. Will this thing zoom in? If this thing will zoom in. It's good. There we go. Apologies for the wait. As you see, the exhausts have been hollowed out slightly, which adds perfect more character and detail to the model. The more layers upon layers of armour, which is quite good as it adds more personality to the model. The place of, well, it shows here how it is meant to be inserted into the chest plate. And the exhausts themselves are slightly hollowed with each hole in, because just to add more flavour to the model and more detail. So again, a lot of detail. Along with the leg joints or the legs, I feel this is one of the most detailed bits of the model. Next bit is the head and the knee pads. Now the head, as you can see, is in half. This is just because the head goes into the chest, but the chest slightly raises over it, so you won't be seeing the whole head. So that's why they've cut it in half. They've got a peg to go in the hole of the chest in the centre. The knee pads, more armour upon your armour. That sounds amazingly a bit like the Centurions. The knee pads are quite nicely done. As you see, very easy to differentiate or to know where these pieces go on the leg. The head, as I said, quite nice. The eyes, the rivets, half the mouth, even that's been finely detailed, even though you might not see it much. The side of the heads, if I can actually see, have been detailed as well, so if you can move your head, you'll be shown detail again. Again, massive triangle problem, but for the detail, it's worth it. Next to the shoulder pad, well, the shoulders, not shoulder pads, shoulders. As we can see, if I can actually turn this down a bit, as we can see, the shoulders have a massive hole in them for where the arms go in. It's very relatively simple, but as I say, less is more with the rivets and a little bit of extra armour upon your armour. As we see, here are the arm joints where these glue into the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Dreadnought. The arm sockets, well, the shoulder sockets to the chest sockets of the Dreadnought. Massive triangle on the top, which is always great because I honestly don't know why these are here. I know that's flash, but really the thickness of that, but the detail is worth it. Now here the ankle, I'm just going to call them ankle joints because I'm honestly, they're either lower part of the leg or ankle joints. One of them doesn't come with a massive triangle, which is good. One of them does, which I don't understand. How to show it? There we go. There we go, that's brilliant. As we see, the detailing is rather simple, and I've noticed this on the model, less is more. Games Workshop could certainly use that with their models to understand that less is more. I mean, if you've seen the new chaplain that comes with the Razorback in the command squad, he's a bit over decorated in my opinion, but still. And I really don't like that skull helmet. But anyhow, more appropriately placed rivets. The joint of where it attaches to the leg. As you can tell, it's got the depth of where each part goes. You have the appropriate placed rivets, and at the bottom, you have the arm joint, or the where the foot peg goes into the leg socket. So that's the first one. The second one is exactly the same. If this thing will zoom, there we go. More appropriately placed rivets because less is more, as I've said. Bit more detailing, and I really like that because I like the little hole in between to show that it's inner workings, which is absolutely brilliant. And more appropriately placed rivets with the joint to the socket to the foot, and the top of it, which is to attach to the upper part of the leg. And as you can see, it shows you self-explanatory where everything goes because of the height and the width of each part of the socket. And the final part of the Dreadnought body is the lower torso. Yes, lower torso. As I say, this part's for the legs, and this attaches to this part. So, as I see, more appropriately placed rivets. Yep. Less is more armour, and it looks stunning, as usual. The other end of the joint. On the top of it, which is absolutely great because you can see the grill, No denying the grill. Here, if this thing will zoom, and it won't zoom for some apparent reason. Will it zoom now? Yes, right. As you can see here, the grill, apologies for the wait, with more armour upon armour, with a few rivets to attach it all together. The other part to attach, well, to just show the underbelly of the beast. Then we have the other bit, which this attaches onto to keep the legs and the chest in place. As you see, less is more. They've added 2 vent bits. I think that's to add articulation and to like blow off steam, because this is meant to be steampunk. More rivets, and I think this is another highly detailed part of the kit, where we have rivets and wiring cables. If this thing will zoom in. If this thing will zoom in, please, pretty please with cherry on top. There we go. As you see, the pistons, which will move up and down when the torso adjusts itself on the Contemptor, and the wiring cabling to show more detail and show more inner workings of the Contemptor. Because this is the Imperium, where everything has to look badass. Well, or Chaos for that matter, or Chaos Machines. And so yes, that is the Dreadnought body. It does come with a black base, but I'm not going to use that. I bought myself a special base from Fantascape. It's a Gothic Ruins Artillery Base 1. It's exactly the same size as a Dreadnought base. I can show for size comparison. And if I can get this out, it's quite hard to do with one hand. It's getting there. As I see, we've got the leaflets. It tells you more about the website, what they sell, etc, etc. Apologies, I had to bite that to get it out. As I see here, it's very nicely detailed, I must admit. It's a great piece of detail, and it's resin as well. As I see, a pillar. Hey! As I see, the broken down pillar. What I'm having is the Chaos Contemptor on an Imperial shrine, or church, or inside, destroying it, while fighting the Necron Lich Guard, because this is going to be also a diorama on a legal size base. What I quite like, and this is what made me choose this kit, well, this base, is this shield, because the amount of detail on it, the massive Inquisitions, well, not supposed to be Inquisitional symbol. If this thing will zoom in again. There we go. And like how it's got all the names, all the Crusader-like names, massive shield to just give it more of a Gothic look, the brickwork for floor and street, cracks everywhere, rubble coming out of the pillar or stonework. It'll just look great, and it'll complement the Dreadnought, I feel so. That is the Fantascape base. If they've still got the website up, I will try and link it in the description. So that is it for the chest piece. I'll be moving to my arm selections, which are the twin-egg lascannon and the claw option for the arm. Okay, so first is the lascannon option that I chose. As you see, I've hacked away at this. That it didn't come like that. But I basically hacked away at this because I was desperate to have a look at my model. As you see, the lascannon option in its box. If I can get it out, because I used a craft knife to take it out. Hey. Oh, hey! As I see here, the lascannon is very finely detailed. I absolutely adore it. It shows you a load of the inner workings, shows you the power packs here. It shows you the lascannon bits, the cabling, the rivets, the pistons, whatever they are. It shows you everything. The barrels are slightly drilled out so that you don't have to do that work, which is great because I'm a bit lazy when it comes down to drilling my barrel holes. Mainly because I don't like drilling them out, because I always have them at funny angles every time I drill. So that's the actual lascannon. This piece here is the joint to join the shoulder pad to the, well, to join the joiner from the weapon to the shoulder. And this is the connector to connect this to that. And this is what I like about the middle section. On either side it doesn't show any detail just because you won't see it, but in between it shows you that it's a massive cog, which I really like. I like that detailing because it's very considerate of them to do that. I find putting all that effort into one tiny piece, but it just makes the model look so more alive, you could say. I'm being very slow because it'll go out of focus and I'll get annoyed again. As you see, that connects, this bit connects to that by the massive circle in its way. And this piece if this will zoom, hey, yay, more rivets appropriately placed on the armour, as we can see. It's a very bit of bulk to add more bulkiness to the model. That's where it joins up to this bit, so already in the kit. More, and this bit hasn't been casted. I don't think you'll be seeing that bit because it joins onto the Dreadnought, hence why it's at like a sort of a half an, not archangel, it's half a archway in shape, because this joins on to the Dreadnought's shoulder. So all in all, I'm quite happy with the lascannon. The only criticism, yet again, is the massive triangle on the end, but for the detail, it's justified. Now moving on to the arm claw. Okay, so this is the arm components. I chose the claw arm, which surprised us because when I did receive this claw arm, I also got the normal fingers as well, so I'm not sure if that's normal or not, but I thought that was very considerate of Forge World, just in case. The claws are actually here. It's what I'm actually going to choose because it's meant to be chaosy looking, so may as well, if I can zoom in, if this will zoom in. Hey, as you see, less is more. They've angled, they've sloped them to look more razor-like. They've added pistons or like rivets. As you see, more joints in the joints to add more articulation to the claws. And if this thing will zoom in. If this thing will zoom in, come on, we don't have all day. Hey! So as you see there, more joints, and as you see, the sharp, well, supposed sharpness to make it look more deadly against whatever opponent you're facing. On the same side, it's not the same because, well, no, it's not the same. But the reason why there isn't much detail here is because I think this is where it's meant to be attached to the joints of the hand. Which leads me on to the next piece. These are the fingers for the normal Space Marines. As I say, they're less sharp but more bulky and robotic. As I say, more joins, just like the claw talons, to show the articulation, to bring the model personality and make it look more alive. More joins, and the rivets to make it look more alive and add more personality to the Dreadnought. This is the handpiece. Well, I'm trying to think how this whole thing goes together, because another criticism about the whole kit is that it doesn't come with instructions, which I'm a bit miffed about because this looked a bit hard. From what I understand is that is attached to the arm, that attaches to that, then that attaches to that, then that attaches to that. As far as I'm aware, when looking at the picture very hardly in the Apocalypse book, which we'll be doing a video review for all you gamers out there, so stay tuned in for that. We'll focus on this one first. As I see, more rivets and lovely less is more armour with appropriately placed rivets to show articulation in the model to make it feel more alive. Here is the arm piece that goes with the Dreadnought. It's exactly the same as the lascannon one, as far as I'm aware. Half the archway, more rivets appropriately placed to hold the whole piece of armour together. This piece, again, like the lascannon, it is this won't zoom in. Nope, that's not zooming in for some reason. Hang on. Yeah, as I say, this doesn't have a whole cog in, but it's meant to show its facing to show you where the placement's meant to be going on the arm or hand. But as I say, very nicely detailed for the part of the cog where it joins the top of it. More armour, appropriately placed rivets, and the actual hand itself, which is, as you see where the holes are, there's a massive hole in the middle. There's a massive hole in the middle because that's where the gun goes, because it comes with an inbuilt gun, a bit like Iron Man. If we can just zoom in, yep, more articulation and rivets in appropriately placed settings. There are actual mini skulls on it. I think that's just to add personality and flavour to the character of the model. Another problem with the whole hand again, or the whole kit part of the hand, is that they're on massive triangles. This is probably the most detailed part of the kit. It comes with two varieties of gun. One is a plasma destroyer or plasma something, and then the other is something I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to glue it on because it looks fantabidostic, and I may as well just say it's a melter gun. As I see, here's a massive power pack with all its detail in. If we flip the model around, or flip the kit around, more detail. There's a shoulder arm pad for armour to cover some bits up. or some fragile bits up probably on the model. And the more rivet in place, which you can choose either that one or that one to glue onto the underbelly of the hand. I'm probably going to go with that one because that one looks more detail. Yeah, well, it's more area of a detail of model and looks much better in my opinion. All in all, the whole kit is a very, very nice kit, full of detail, full of character, full of flavour, justifiable. I'm going to enjoy building this thing up, I'm going to enjoy playing this thing, and I'm going to enjoy painting this thing. So thank you for watching my first unboxing. Apologies for a long wait in zooming on some specific pieces. If you enjoyed what you see, please like, comment and subscribe, whatever you do. And this is the Warp Forge, and remember, keep forging.